Hello, in this video, I will give you the main reasons of why you're finding learning Spanish so difficult, as well as tips on how to improve on that. I'm Haiti with Real World Spanish Lessons, and I want to help you become fluent in real world Spanish. So if that's something you're looking to do, make sure you subscribe and hit the notifications bell on. ¿Listos? Comencemos. Accents, accents, accents. This is the first reason why you're finding learning Spanish or any other language really so difficult. I get a lot of comments on my videos asking what accents I'm teaching, and my answer usually is it's a neutral Spanish, just because that's really what I like to teach so that you can be understood anywhere in Latin America that you travel to. With that being said, if you're traveling to Spain, you might find it a little bit more difficult to understand people from Spain just because their lingo is a little bit different. But if you speak Spanish, or if you're closer to being fluent in any form of Spanish that there is, you'll most likely be able to understand them. It's just that their accent will be very different. So it is important to know what accent you're learning, but at the same time, it's not a deal breaker because most likely than not, you will be understood in any other Spanish speaking countries. So think about it. If you're a native English speaker from the US or from America, and say you travel to Great Britain for work or for pleasure, and you start listening to them and speaking to them, and you'll know that their English is very different, mainly because you see it in movies all the time. But actually being in that situation, maybe you'll have a little bit of a culture shock because of the way they pronounce their vowels or certain words that they pronounce. But you'll still be able to understand them. It might take you a day or two to get used to their accent, but ultimately you'll be able to communicate with them. So my tip here is pick whatever accent you want to learn and go with it. But be smart when doing this, because you don't want to pick, say, Spanish from Spain, but you live in the US, and most people that live in the US are from Latin America. Most likely people will be able to understand you, but there will be word differences and the accent that some people might not understand you. So really what you want to do is learn a Spanish that's more neutral, so that whenever you're traveling around, if that's your plan, or if you live in the US, you are actually able to understand people and they're able to understand you. Número 2. The second reason why you're finding Spanish so difficult to learn is because maybe you're learning Spanish from Spain, which in the US, that's the Spanish that it's taught in schools, but you're surrounded by people from Latin America. This will be an issue because even if you get an A in your Spanish class, it doesn't mean that people will be able to understand you. And even though a lot of Latin American Spanish-speaking countries have different accents, at the end of the day, you're still able to understand them, just because even though there is different accents, there are still a lot of similarities. This is basically the same for English learners. A lot of schools in, say, Latin America or even Europe, they teach British English, not American English. So sometimes it's a little bit difficult to understand them, but at the end of the day, it's still English or it's still Spanish, so you'll still be able to understand. Número 3. Literally translating word for word in your head. Stop this. Seriously, if you want to learn Spanish, you need to stop translating in your head. Translating in your head will continue to make you confused because of the sentence structure in Spanish. You need to stop translating because this will be really confusing, because the sentence structure might be very different to your native language. For example, if you're an English speaker and you want to learn Spanish, the sentence structure is definitely different. Número 4. You're not watching telenovelas. So what's a telenovela, you might ask? I'm glad you asked. A telenovela is a very, very dramatic TV show or soap opera. There's even telenovelas specifically for kids. Kids literally grow up watching all the drama that telenovelas are. I remember being 6 years old and watching telenovelas with my family. Honestly, kids probably shouldn't be allowed to watch them unless they're specifically made for them. Número 5. You're questioning everything. What do I mean by this? We all know that languages can be very complex, and there is many ways to say something, or one single word can mean a lot of different things. I get a lot of comments saying, I thought this word was this, or doesn't this word mean something else? Well, a lot of words in Spanish can mean different things in a lot of different countries, or even in the same country. A tip that I can give you is to stop questioning everything and to stop second guessing yourself. Just learn the words, don't question what they mean, or does it mean this, does it mean that, why does it have so many different meanings. Just learn the words, and once you become fluent, everything will make sense. Número 6. You're not being consistent. You cannot expect to be successful without being consistent. It just doesn't work that way. And I don't mean that you have to study 24/7. What I do mean is you have to set time apart at least 3 times a week to study and to learn new things. But if you're feeling overwhelmed, take a break, and then once you're ready to get back into the swing of things, then start again. This will prevent you from getting burnt out and actually become successful. Número 7. You're not writing down your goals or setting up timelines. Thinking about your goal is one thing, but actually writing it down and having it in front of you, or even telling someone, makes it a statement or a reality. This means things just got real and you have to put in the work if you want to be successful. Número 8. You're not putting yourself out there. What I mean by this is that you're not getting enough practice, or you are embarrassed or shy when it comes to talking to someone. If you get the opportunity to speak to someone, do it right away before you start second guessing yourself, because it's better to go and start talking to someone right away instead of wishing that you had talked to them. Did you find this video helpful? Let me know in the comments below. If you want more tips to learn Spanish fast, I'll have a link pinned to the top comments. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more.